Now at 4 News Now, the Cougs are looking to replace their star quarterback with John Mateer entering the transfer portal. Why he turned down a 7-figure offer to stay in Pullman.
Our wet and slushy roads are turning icy. I'll have a preview of the morning commute and tell you about the next round of wet weather on the way.
The point of high school teams to feel like you belong to something.
Plus, should transgender athletes be allowed to compete in girls' sports in Washington? We'll introduce you to a local athlete who sparked a national conversation and get their perspective on the controversy. You're watching 4 News Now, Special Edition.
Frustrating to you when you try to play by the rules and things kind of still don't go your way? And at what point do you kind of think you might change?
Well, I think the first step is realizing there are no rules.
That's WSU head coach Jake Dickert, frustrated over the loss of star quarterback John Mateer, who's officially entered the transfer portal. Thanks for joining us. I'm Derek Dice, joined now by Sydney Berger. And Sydney, in the current world of NIL, money obviously plays a huge factor, not just in Mateer's decision, but for all college athletes.
In the grand scheme of things, too, this is still a relatively new concept. NIL is growing and evolving, and the Cougars are just trying to keep up and at least stay competitive with those bigger programs. Of course, we don't know all the details of the package they put together for Mateer, but Jake Dickert did say a 7-figure deal was on the table to try and keep their starting quarterback. Despite some big money, Dickert says it ultimately came down to Mateer wanting to play for a bigger program on a bigger stage.
College football is in a different place than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, however we remember it. John will be the most sought after player in the portal. I think he's going to be the best player in the country next year, and he informed us that he is in fact going to hit the portal. Biggest thing for our program is it proves once again our process is working.
Well, the process is about all Dickert can trust right now, but the Cougs have proved they can develop good quarterbacks into great quarterbacks. Last season, Cameron Ward hit the portal and became a Heisman finalist at Miami this season. Now Mateer is headed out, and clearly Dickert has the same faith in Mateer to be one of the best players in the country next year. So it just goes to show what type of program they have over there at Pullman.
And hopefully somebody will see what's happened with Cam Ward and John Mateer and want to get on board at WSU as well.
Exactly. And we're going to hear more from Coach Dickert later in sports, but you just finished watching the Bears and the Vikings go head-to-head on Monday Night Football here on ABC. The Vikings took the win away, and they got their 12th win of the season thanks to this play right here. It seems like a simple touchdown for running back Aaron Jones, but this one was his 50th rushing touchdown in his career, and it's his 70th total touchdown. This is just his first season with the Vikings after spending 7 seasons with the Packers. He just moved to a different team in the division and continues to be a difference maker. Jones helped lead the Vikings to their 7th win in a row. The final score 30-12.
Some good dance moves there at the end, too. All right, meteorologist Chris Crocker joins us now. And Chris, it was a slick drive for many this morning because of the snow. Do we have any more on the way?
You know, in some spots we do, but right here in Spokane, we're mainly just going to be dealing with the snow that we received today, making the roads, the sidewalks, the parking lots wet, and all of that refreezing. This is our time lapse from this afternoon, and already a lot of the roads and parking lots around the area are clear of snow, but they are wet, and that is going to be slick. Our temperatures right now are right around freezing in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 32 in Spokane, 31 degrees in Coeur d'Alene, in the 20s in Colville and Winthrop, as well as Bonners Ferry. Still 34 in Pullman and 38 degrees in Lewiston right now. Our forecast radar, we are dry presently. We're going to start to see some light precipitation move into the Palouse early tomorrow morning. Here's 6 a.m. Mainly staying dry in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, other than an isolated flurry or sprinkle until about 3 o'clock. We start to see the next round of wet weather moving in the form of rain in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but snow in some of the northern valleys, particularly along the east slopes of the Cascades and the Okanagan area, where there is a winter weather advisory from Tuesday morning through Wednesday morning for snow, as well as the possibility of some light freezing rain. A winter weather advisory for the central panhandle expires at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So we're mostly dry to start the day with temperatures below freezing. A slight chance of precipitation as early as noon. More likely that wet weather is going to hold off until later in the day. And look at our temperatures, up to 38 at 7. But this temperature is going to keep increasing through the night and into Wednesday morning. I'll be back with a warm 7-day forecast in just a few minutes, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. New details tonight on the school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin that left at least 2 people dead and several others injured. Investigators say the shooter was a 17-year-old girl who attended Abundant Life Christian School. Here's what one man saw as police rushed to help students as soon as they heard reports of an active shooter at the school.
You could see students being let out of the school. Some of the older students were running across the parking lot to the church sanctuary. And then later on, very slowly, in a more orderly fashion, the younger students holding hands were let out.
Now, parents running to the reunification site to pick up their kids.
I bring my daughter to school knowing, well, that this happens in the world, that people are struggling, and I pray for my daughter's safety. I pray for the entire school's safety.
Police are still looking for a possible motive. According to CNN, there have been 83 school shootings so far this year. That's one more than in all of 2023. Once again, many are calling for stricter gun control laws, including President Joe Biden. He released a statement reading, "It is unacceptable that we are unable to protect our children from this scourge of gun violence. We cannot continue to accept it as normal. Every child deserves to feel safe in their classroom. Students across our country should be learning how to read and write, not having to learn how to duck and cover." Well, the founder of Spokane's Roast House Coffee, who was called a force of nature and a guiding light, has died. Deb DiBernardo was honored on the Roast House Facebook page. The post says she passed away Sunday surrounded by loved ones that included her beloved dog, Lucy. DiBernardo opened Roast House in 2010 and later opened First Avenue Coffee in downtown Spokane. I featured DiBernardo and Roast House in a Made in the Northwest story back in 2014, and I can confirm she was definitely a force of nature and will be missed. Well, local carpenters' tools are stolen while remodeling a home for recovering addicts. Coming up, how the community is stepping up to replace what was lost. And the Spokane Sheriff's Office wants to make its deputies more visible. How these lights are meant to keep them safe, or them and drivers safe on the road. Plus, students, parents, and some school districts say transgender athletes should not be allowed to compete in girls' sports. Hear from the East Valley student who sparked the conversation and why she thinks the new proposals are unsafe. Next on 4 News Now.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Cal Superstore in Airway Heights.
Perfection Tire is proud to carry Nokian Tires, creator of the original winter tire. Keep your family safe this season and all seasons, whether you're headed up the mountain or downtown. Perfection has a full line of Nokian winter and all-season tires. These tires offer exceptional winter traction and stability in the harshest Northwest weather, paving the way for safer travel for generations to come. Nobody beats Perfection Tire for price, selection, and quality.
The Advocates are a team of dedicated
personal injury lawyers who
are prepared to go to trial.
So getting the maximum recovery amount
is the reason we never back down.
So when you're injured,
call the Advocates.
Wow. It's like we finish
each other's sentences.
The holidays.
So happy together.
And holiday trips. And holiday toys.
Let's do this, fellas.
And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag and use your red tag bonus cash to get $5,750 total cash allowance on this Silverado. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
It's here once again. An adventure in Coeur d'Alene with family and friends. Trees will light up, snow will fall, while you're dining, shopping, and having a ball. Santa and STCU hit elves in secret spots, so keep an eye out and you could win lots. If you find our elf on a shelf while in downtown Coeur d'Alene, a Fig Pickles shopping spree, Gonzaga tickets, or gift cards you could gain. Explore CDAdowntown.com if you want to learn more.
4 News Now and BECU are teaming up to welcome in some holiday spirit. Send us a picture of your pet decked out for the holidays, and you could win a $75 gift card to a local pet store, courtesy of BECU. For details, go to kxly.com/holidaypets.
Hadestown, returning to Spokane December 21st and 22nd. Tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Hi, I'm Ken, and I'm a lawyer.
I'm Donnie, and I'm not, but I am an advocate.
So am I.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
Seriously injured? You deserve justice. You deserve an advocate.
That's us.
All of us.
Well, this was the moment that changed one young student's life and set off a controversy nationwide. A state high school track meet that brought a national issue close to home. In May, East Valley High School's Veronica Garcia became the first known transgender athlete to win a Washington State championship when she won the 2A girls 400-meter race in Tacoma. Since then, several school districts have called for the WIAA to reconsider its policies on transgender athletes in sports. We've covered the story extensively, but there's one voice we haven't heard until now. Marissa Rio met with Garcia to hear her perspective on an issue that's dividing the nation.
Throughout this whole controversy, we've heard from many voices. Parents, school officials, and biologically born female athletes have chimed in to raise their concerns over transgender athlete participation in school sports. The WIAA has heard those concerns and is now considering changing its policy. The one voice we have yet to hear from regarding these proposals is from one of the teenagers directly impacted by these decisions. When I asked Veronica Garcia if she'd like to meet with me to share her perspective, she said she'd be flattered to lend her voice.
I feel like a fire engine with lights and sirens on because it's like I'm just trying to compete.
That's how Veronica Garcia feels when her feet hit the track. Competing is her sense of belonging, but at only 17 years old, her identity has put her at the center of controversy. Veronica is transgender and joined the East Valley High School girls team in 2023.
I felt like it was right, I guess, because realistically, if I'm gonna start, living my life as a woman, it would make more sense to compete on the women's team, but also for my own safety if I remained on the boys' team.
But it didn't take long for people to disagree.
They can do all these things, yet what they want to instead do is target children, like literal children. Like, it's like, why do grown adults think it's okay to harass a child, let alone a transgender child? Like, why would you ever do that?
When Veronica won state earlier this year, she wasn't celebrated with cheers.
When I was on the podium, I did hear some booing, mostly silence.
That critical response still reverberates today.
As much as I maybe don't like to admit it, but I very frequently, occasionally search up, on my phone, Washington State transgender athlete, and then, it gives me articles, and so I've seen pretty much the entire discourse of, starts off with Linden, then Meade, and then, Colville, all these other school districts wanting the WIAA to change their policy.
The WIAA's current policy reads all students should have the opportunity to participate in WIAA athletics and/or activities in a manner that is consistent with their gender identity, meaning if the student identifies as a girl, they can compete with the girls. People in the community have gathered to raise concerns over how this could be considered fair competition. Some have even raised safety concerns, but Veronica says it would be unsafe to force transgender female athletes to compete with the boys.
That could also technically lead to injury at the same time, but at the same time it could also lead to certain situations such as the male athletes getting touchy with the transgender female athlete, which could obviously cause, a whole host of problems.
While Veronica acknowledges that this isn't always the case, it's still a concern. After hearing what the community has had to say, the WIAA is now proposing to limit girls' sports to only students assigned female at birth.
It's just segregation. It's discriminatory.
Veronica also brought up the small amount of transgender youth that make up high school sports. Since there is no requirement to disclose whether or not a student is transgender, it's hard to verify how many there are. But in a study done by the CDC, it found that just over 3% of U.S. high school students identify as transgender. Research done by the Trevor Project, a nonprofit that advocates for LGBTQ+ youth, found that only 17% of youth who identify as transgender and non-binary participate in sports.
Already transgender youth are feeling unwelcome in sports. You know, the point of high school teams to feel like you belong to something, and stuff like this is going to really negatively impact the mental health of transgender people.
The WIAA is also suggesting an open division in which all students can participate.
Realistically, who is willingly wanting to join an open division? Like, most are not willing to do that, so that could lead to literally just no one joining the open division, just because it's like people are like, why should I join this?
Veronica says in her opinion the WIAA should instead consider instituting a hormone requirement similar to the NCAA, but it's now a waiting game to see how the WIAA will proceed. So as Veronica stares out onto a track field, she's left to wonder if other students like herself will be left out in the cold in years to come. The WIAA will discuss and finalize these proposed amendments during its virtual Winter Coalition on January 27th. Veronica says these amendments can cause irreparable harm and asks the WIAA to consider this when making its decision. In studio, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Well, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office is getting wearable lights for all of its deputies. The Sheriff's Office now has over 130 lights for its deputies to use, thanks to a $19,000 grant. Sheriff John Knowles says his deputies are safer today than they were yesterday because of these lights. Derek Strom spoke with the sheriff about how the lights will be used.
The Spokane County Sheriff's Office hopes these Guardian Angel lights will keep their deputies safer in tactical and non-tactical situations, and it even has enough of them to outfit each of its canines with one as well. According to Sheriff John Knowles, over a dozen law enforcement officers nationwide have died over the last 2 years directing traffic and other routine duties because they weren't visible to drivers, but thanks to a grant from the Spirit of Blue Foundation, which provides grants for safety equipment to law enforcement organizations across the country, sheriff's deputies will have these lights that can be used in a variety of situations.
But it'll greatly increase our ability of our aerial units or specialty units to be able to identify where our officers are in critical moments and critical situations.
The lights have a flashing white setting as well as red and blue, and it has an infrared light. The lights can be seen from up to around 5 miles away, which is something the sheriff's office believes will come in handy. One sheriff's deputy recently had a difficult time giving his location out over the radio during a recent confrontation while on duty.
His backup officers were having trouble finding him, and he felt that had he had one of these devices, he could have activated it and they would have been able to locate him a little bit faster.
The lights can be attached to a canine's vest by a magnet, and the lights can be seen easily by any of the sheriff's department's drones or helicopters. Sheriff Knowles says the lights will be used more once deputies become more comfortable using them. In Spokane, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
4 things to know about your weather. Wet roads around the region that have not been treated will be refreezing. Rain-snow mix on Tuesday, but in Spokane, it's mostly going to be rain, if not entirely rain. There's a warming trend in our forecast. We have 40s and more rain this week. I'll explain after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Bigger, brighter, and better than ever. Check in on the new Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. We've just completed a major expansion, adding more amenities to elevate your guest experience to new heights.
So, what are you waiting for? This Christmas, treat yourself or a loved one to a new vehicle from Findlay.
With delayed payments until February 1st and bigger than normal trade-in values for your old ride, giving you plenty of reasons to upgrade to a new Toyota RAV4 or Tacoma or Tundra truck, or get closeout savings on the all-new all-wheel drive Camry or Prius.
We've got lots of great choices for everyone.
I'm looking for something sporty and fast.
Don't you have somewhere to be?
Ho, ho, ho!
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. But they all just fade away? But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
I'm Chad Young from the EasyHomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With the EasyHomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
What happened?
Someone took the Bronco out for an extended test drive.
They used all the goat modes. Goes over any type of terrain.
They did it all, man.
Looks like they had a lot of fun.
Those boots are awfully muddy, Sam.
My boots? I did it. I'm gonna do it again.
Lease a new Bronco Sport Big Ben for only $399 a month, or a Bronco Big Ben for just $499 a month for 36 months.
Feel the power of big win energy at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino, where the winning never stops. Last month, our guests scored big with thrilling jackpots and exciting payouts. Are you ready to elevate your winning?
4 News Now is brought to you by Silver Mountain Resort in Kellogg, Idaho.
My tools are initially an investment that I use in order to accumulate income. Without the tools, I can't make money.
Thousands of dollars worth of tools were stolen from Christopher Matthews' job site Sunday morning. And get this, the thieves even left behind their own tools they used to break in. Now Matthews is left figuring out what's next and how to stay positive for the mission behind the home he's remodeling. Our Hunter Bertram tells us about the burglary and why remodeling this old home means so much to him.
I was talking to somebody about it not too long ago where one of the guys in the program had everything stolen from him, and that was the demise for his relapse.
Christopher Matthews is a recovering alcoholic. He now helps other men involved in the Reclaim Project transition away from addiction, homelessness, and a life of crime. This house he's remodeling,
it's kind of a project for people, relocating from prison and kind of getting back on their feet.
It's a home that will be affordable and provide safety for those struggling as they find a new path in life. Sunday afternoon, Edward Bruya stopped by this property he owns that he's remodeling with the Reclaim Project to find the door just like this, left ajar. He soon then realized inside the home there was thousands of dollars of tools that have gone missing. Of those tools, many were Matthews.
I mean, how many thousands of dollars worth of equipment probably was taken?
Just mine alone, I'm sitting right around $6,000.
$6,000 Matthew will now have to come up with to buy new tools. Money that could have gone to better things, like Christmas presents for his 5 kids next week.
Yeah, it's heart-wrenching, honestly.
The Spokane Police Department showed up while I was there and spoke with Matthews and the property owner. However, both are not hopeful they'll see the tools ever again.
As much as I wanted to go home, curl up in a ball, and stay hidden in my room, and sulk in my sorrow, I had to get up and find that strength to show up to work and just continue going with the flow.
An online fundraiser has been started to help Matthews buy new tools. You can find the details on KXLY.com. In Spokane, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
That is a tough deal for him, for sure. Here's a live look over a cold night in downtown Spokane and those wet and slushy roads. Let's send it over to Chris Crocker now to see if those icy roads will be sticking around for the morning commute.
They certainly will, especially on those side roads where they're not treated. Temperatures already below freezing in Coeur d'Alene with wet roads. You can see some of the snow left over from today on the grassy surfaces on both sides of US 95 and I-90. Right here in Spokane, we have wet roads around the Spokane Arena. It is 32 degrees and foggy. In fact, it is especially dense out on the West Plains right now. Visibility less than a quarter mile at both Fairchild Air Force Base as well as Spokane International Airport. We'll see more fog developing later this evening. Our chance of precipitation on on Tuesday starts out fairly low. I think, if anything, 60% starting at 10 a.m. is a little high for Spokane. It's a better chance that you will see that precipitation further south on the Palouse. But once we're into the late afternoon, we're up to 100%, and that is a good bet. We have some very wet weather coming in, and by that time, we are talking about all rain for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, and it's going to stay as rain through the overnight. I want to show you our temperatures. I'm going to start this off 24 hours from now with almost everyone above freezing, Winthrop the exception. As we go into the overnight, our temperatures are going to continue to increase as a warm front moves in. 42 at 12:30, 39 in Pullman, 42 in Moses Lake and Ritzville. Those temperatures continue to climb through the overnight. Finally, by the time we're at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, most locations are in the 40s, even Winthrop's above freezing at 8 o'clock Wednesday, 39 in Bonners Ferry, 41 degrees in Sandpoint. And so we are not looking at icy conditions Wednesday morning, and we are going to see some more rain. Our chance of precipitation over the next couple of days, 90% on Tuesday, mostly in the form of valley rain, 60% Wednesday. Then we drop down for a couple of dry days with some mountain snow, and then back up to 50% on Saturday. But after tomorrow, most of what we see in the valleys will be in the form of rain. Our low temperatures tomorrow will be down in the 20s and 30s. So again, wet roads will be icy, and parking lots and sidewalks right around the Spokane area. 29 in Spirit Lake, 30 in Deer Park, 31 in Meade, as well as 9 Mile, Cheney, and Spangle. 31 in Post Falls and 32 in Liberty Lake. Our high temperatures tomorrow, this is a little bit tricky. There's our highs in the late afternoon, early evening, but the temperature, as I mentioned, will continue to climb through the overnight and right on into the day on Wednesday. So that's a bit of a work in progress. More precipitation on Wednesday, then a couple-day break. First day of winter, we're looking at rain. Rain also on Sunday and into Monday. And here we are, Christmas week, and no sign of snow. I'm going to take a look at the 8 to 14-day forecast in just a few minutes, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. We'll still ahead. An SUV smashes through the walls of 5 businesses in Houston. What the strip mall owners say caused the driver to lose control. Next on 4 News Now.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now and BECU are teaming up to welcome in some holiday spirit. Send us a picture of your pet decked out for the holidays, and you could win a $75 gift card to a local pet store, courtesy of BECU. For details, go to KXLY.com/holidaypets.
Amy M. writes, my kids are having a Wicked-themed sleepover. Will my internet hold up?
Well, our Xfinity gateways are like magic, designed to easily power a ton of teenagers and their devices.
They're so magic. I'm like the Good Witch of engineering.
I'm the Wicked Witch of beta testing.
And I'm the Wizard of spreadsheets.
Oh.
I knew he'd excel at that job.
Get Xfinity Gig Internet for $25 a month when you add mobile, or lock in your internet price for 2 years. And see Wicked in theaters now.
This Christmas, treat yourself or a loved one to a new vehicle from Finley.
With delayed payments until February 1st and bigger than normal trade-in values for your old ride, giving you plenty of reasons to upgrade to a new Toyota RAV4 or Tacoma or Tundra truck, or get closeout savings on the all-new all-wheel drive Camry or Prius.
We've got lots of great choices for everyone.
I'm looking for something sporty and fast.
Don't you have somewhere to be?
Ho, ho, ho!
Some know it as prime rib. Officially, it's called a ribeye roast. We call ours divine. Tender, mouth-watering Hereford beef, aged to perfection for 5 weeks and never frozen. Oven ready and easy. Divine beef ribeye roast, tied and seasoned at your request. Reserve yours now, exclusively at Yoke's Fresh Markets.
For memories you can't make online.
Experience the magic of the holidays at River Park Square.
4 News Now and BECU are teaming up to welcome in some holiday spirit. Send us a picture of your pet decked out for the holidays, and you could win a $75 gift card to a local pet store, courtesy of BECU. For details, go to kxly.com/holidaypets. 4 News Now is brought to you by Northwest Winterfest.
All right, take a look at this video of an SUV plowing through the wall of a barber shop in Houston. We are pausing the video right before it hits an 11-year-old boy.
A car came through my shop, man. We in there, we joking, we clowning, we do what barbershops do.
And the reason people started running was because a painter working outside came to warn them about the SUV that had just hit a car before driving through a nearby church and started taking out the walls in other businesses. The SUV sending the boy flying into the massage parlor next door.
Man, it was crazy, man. I was shook up, man, when I turned. I was like, because it's like the kid just disappeared. And one of my barbers was screaming.
And the owner of the strip mall says he spoke to the driver. He alleges the driver had just gone through dialysis treatment and likely suffered a medical emergency. The 11-year-old suffered internal bleeding and underwent surgery. A woman in a dress shop was also hit and sent to the hospital. A new Washington law is asking residents to separate their yard waste from the rest of their garbage. Why Spokane says the city has been heading in this direction for a few years now. Mary Sheridan has the story.
If you already have a green food and yard waste cart, you're already probably doing what you would be doing.
Starting in 2027, these green carts will be issued to everyone. This is due to the organics management laws, recently passed state legislature that focuses on reducing landfill emissions of methane, which is hurting the climate. This still applies to the solid waste incinerator at the city's waste-to-energy facility.
We just need to be generating less waste in general.
Already, enough people take advantage of the green carts that the city is shifting to a year-round collection schedule. Organic waste will continue to be picked up in the months of January, February, and December, starting January 1st of 2025. And while you may not have as much yard waste to put in these green bins, you can practice mindfulness during the holidays and contribute your excess food waste. This year-round pickup will increase the service cost by 35 cents, but Davis says utilizing the city's green carts means you could use a smaller garbage bin and save money.
There's ways to make that pretty much either less expensive or about the same amount, because about 30% of our garbage has been food waste. So there's really a substantial difference we can make here.
Reporting in Spokane, Mary Sheridan, 4 News Now.
Well, still ahead, new details on that school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin that left one student and one teacher dead. Next on 4 News Now.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Tis the season for big mattress savings during the year-end inventory reduction sale at Walker's.
Find your comfort on a new Beauty Rest Black set. Enjoy with our Hot Buy mattress deals. Or rest in heavenly peace on a Serta iComfort set. Plus, say yes to no money down. No minimum purchase financing for up to 5 years.
Plus, get $300 of additional free furniture with qualifying mattress purchases, making it a season to remember during the year-end reduction sale at Walker's.
Are you ready for this? Ready to take chances? Will you push and break your limits? Are you ready to be a legend? Are you ready to fight to be fearless? Are you made for greatness? This is your moment. Are you ready for this?
Moving day never goes smoothly, does it? Let's just settle this little mishap.
Who do we always see on the billboards again?
It's the one call that's all, guys.
You deserve to be compensated fairly for everything you've had to go through.
One call, that's all.
509-999-9999.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra. Available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year. See your local GMC dealer.
On site.
All right, welcome back. The community of Madison, Wisconsin is in mourning after a student opened fire at Abundant Life Christian School. It's the 83rd school shooting in the U.S. so far this year, and 56 of those have been in K-12 schools. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has the latest from Madison on this shooting.
I hoped that this day would never come in Madison.
At least 2 lives taken, a student and teacher, after a shooter opened fire at a private Christian school Monday morning.
Of the 6 injured and taken to local hospitals, 2 students remain in critical condition. Their injuries are life-threatening. A teacher and 3 other students were taken to area hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. 2 of those victims, 2 of those survivors, have been released from the hospital.
The alleged shooter, a teenage student who police say attended Abundant Life Christian School, found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside the building.
These are horrific crime scenes.
According to a law enforcement source, the alleged shooter used a 9mm gun.
We know it was a handgun. We know a handgun was recovered.
Police say they never fired their weapons. As an investigation gets underway to uncover the why of this tragedy, Madison officials call for more to be done to save lives.
I am on record that I think we need to do better in our country and our community to prevent gun violence.
The Madison police chief also making it clear that school shootings affect him personally, as he was a public school teacher in the 90s.
I think we can all agree that enough is enough, and we have to come together to do everything we can to support our students, to prevent press conferences like these from happening again and again and again.
In Madison, Wisconsin,
already this season, we've had a number of cold and gloomy days here in the inland Northwest, and these conditions can take a toll on our mental and physical health. According to the American Psychiatric Association, millions of Americans suffer from seasonal affective disorder. We asked a mental health practitioner when you should seek help.
If we're struggling to really show up for the things that give us purpose, let's say like you have a young person that's in sports and they love sports and we just can't seem to just wrap our head around getting ready for that or participating, there might be an issue.
Now, this can also manifest in a lack of concentration, feelings of tiredness, and weight loss or weight gain. So here are some quick tips to take care of yourself this time of year. First, become a part of the community. This can be online or in person. You can also introduce supplements and adjust your schedule to integrate things like working out. And finally, tell your loved ones the winter is a hard time for you and ask them to check in. And if you or a loved one are experiencing a mental health crisis, call or text the National Lifeline 988 for free confidential help.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
The stockings are stuffed with holiday cash at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. Join us Saturdays in December to win your share of $50,000 in festive fortunes. Don't miss your chance to win even more holiday cheer.
There are trucks, and then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience and the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. That's over $6,400 total value. Plus, no monthly payments until next year. See your local GMC dealer.
Find the perfect gift for your wine lover at Latah Creek.
Stop in or shop online. We'll help you find your new favorite wine.
Come in to Latah Creek today. Sip, shop, and ship most anywhere in the USA. Cheers.
Visit Fred's Appliance today and explore unbeatable deals. Make cleanup a breeze with a brand new model Bosch dishwasher. Available in 3 colors, each for just $449. A savings of $350. These Bosch dishwashers offer quiet operation, advanced water efficiency, and a variety of cycle options to clean your dishes every time perfectly. At Fred's, we sell appliances, only appliances.
Hi, I'm Dr. Devin Banda. I'm a board-certified orthopedic hand surgeon. Pain in your hands and wrists shouldn't hold you back. Whether it's arthritis, carpal tunnel syndrome, or a complex injury, I specialize in advanced orthopedic hand surgery to restore your mobility and improve your quality of life. Visit me at the Orthopedic Sports Institute's new state-of-the-art surgery center in Hayden. Ready to take the first step? Call today for a consultation and we'll work together to develop a treatment plan so you can get back to the activities that you love faster.
Elevate your game day at Caesars Sportsbook, located inside Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. The area's largest sportsbook is your VIP seat on the 50-yard line with massive HD screens and live betting. Only at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. You just win here.
There's another look at your planning forecast. It is going to be wet. Find your Gore-Tex or whatever other waterproof gear you have. You'll need it several times over the next week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A lot of wet weather on there, but Thursday and Friday, not bad.
Yeah, finally get the dogs out.